First contact in the deep. The stellar pioneer drifted silently through the cosmic void, its quantum engines humming at minimal power as Commander Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck. The massive research vessel, humanity's most advanced deep space explorer, had ventured farther than any ship before it, pushing the boundaries of known space. But what they'd just discovered made every previous achievement pale in comparison. "Commander, you need to see this." Dr. Marcus Wong's voice crackled through the ship's comm system. The excitement in the chief scientist's tone was unmistakable. "The readings are unprecedented." Sarah's boots clicked against the polished floor as she made her way to the science lab. The Stellar Pioneer's corridors were eerily quiet, most of the 1,000-person crew sleeping during the ship's artificial night cycle. But sleep was the last thing on Sarah's mind. The science lab's doors slid open with a soft hiss. Marcus stood hunched over his holographic display, his usually neat appearance disheveled after hours of analysis. Around him, other scientists worked frantically, their faces illuminated by the soft blue glow of their screens. "What have you found?" Sarah asked, approaching the central display. Marcus manipulated the hologram, expanding it to fill the room's center. A massive structure materialized before them, a sprawling complex of geometric shapes that seemed to defy the laws of physics. It floated in the void ahead of their ship, dark against the backdrop of stars. "We're calling it the Nexus," Marcus said, his voice barely above a whisper. "It's artificial, Commander, and it's old. Our initial scans suggest it's been here for at least 1,000,000 years." Sarah studied the hologram, her heart racing. After 20 years in deep space exploration, she thought she'd seen everything. She was wrong. Life signs. None that we can detect. But Marcus paused, adjusting his glasses. "The structure is powered. Something's still running in there after all this time." Before Sarah could respond, the ship's emergency alarms blared to life. Red warning lights pulsed through the lab as Lieutenant Kai Jackson's voice echoed through the comm system. "Commander, to the bridge immediately. The structure, it's activating." Sarah sprinted toward the bridge, her mind racing. They'd followed protocol, maintained a safe distance, taken every precaution. What had they missed? The bridge was chaos when she arrived. Officers rushed between stations as holographic warnings flashed across every screen. Through the main viewport, Sarah could see the Nexus. It was no longer dark. Patterns of light raced across its surface like digital rivers, forming complex geometries that hurt her eyes to look at. "Report," she barked, sliding into her command chair. "The structure began powering up 3 minutes ago," Kai reported, his dark fingers flying across his tactical console. "Energy readings are off the charts. It's like nothing we've ever seen." "Defensive systems?" Sarah asked. "Online, but..." Kai hesitated. "Commander, whatever that thing is, it could probably swat us like a fly if it wanted to." Sarah gripped her chair's armrests. They were witnessing first contact, real, undeniable proof of advanced alien civilization. Everything humanity thought they knew about their place in the universe was about to change. The question was, would they survive to tell anyone about it? "All stations, battle ready," she ordered. "But do not, I repeat, do not take any aggressive action. If this is first contact, let's not start it by shooting." The Nexus's light show intensified. Beams of energy began to pulse outward, but they weren't weapons fire. They were scanning beams. "Commander," Marcus called from his science station, "the structure is scanning us. Every frequency, every bandwidth. It's like it's trying to understand us." Suddenly, every screen on the bridge went dark. The lights flickered and died, leaving only the ethereal glow from the Nexus illuminating the bridge. Sarah felt her breath catch in her throat as a new light materialized in the center of the bridge, a hologram, but unlike any they'd seen before. The figure that appeared was humanoid, but clearly alien. Its form shifted and flowed like liquid mercury, its features both beautiful and terrifying in their otherworldliness. When it spoke, The words seemed to form directly in their minds. At last, the being said, its voice carrying the weight of eons, "We have waited so long for ones worthy of the gift. You have proven your potential by finding us. Now you must prove your worth by surviving what comes next." The hologram expanded, filling the bridge with images of destruction on a galactic scale. Entire solar systems consumed by darkness, civilizations falling to an enemy they couldn't comprehend. The Void Hunters approach, the being continued. They have slept for millennia, but they stir now, hungry for new worlds to devour. You humans, children of Earth, have shown remarkable resilience. You ventured into the deep void when others feared it. You adapted where others failed. Now you must become more than you are, or your civilization will fall like countless others before you. Sarah stood, facing the hologram. What are you offering us? Knowledge, power, the tools to fight back. But be warned, accepting our gift comes with a price. You will become the guardians, the protectors of this sector of space. The responsibility will be tremendous. Sarah looked around at her crew. In their eyes, she saw fear, but also determination. Humanity had spent centuries wondering if they were alone in the universe. Now they knew the truth, but it wasn't what anyone had expected. "We accept," Sarah said, her voice firm. The beam's form shimmered. "Then prepare yourselves. The transformation begins now." The nexus flared with blinding light, and Sarah felt knowledge flooding into her mind. Secrets of the universe, technologies beyond imagination, and warnings of horrors to come. The Stellar Pioneer and its crew would never be the same. The first contact had been made, but it was only the beginning. Humanity's greatest trial was about to begin. The knowledge burned. Commander Sarah Chen collapsed into her chair, her head throbbing as centuries of alien wisdom continued to pour into her consciousness. Around her, the bridge crew of the Stellar Pioneer struggled with their own mental transformations. Dr. Marcus Wong was frantically recording everything he could comprehend, his hands shaking as he typed, while Lieutenant Kai Jackson sat perfectly still, his eyes closed in deep concentration. "Status report," Sarah managed to say, her voice hoarse. "Everyone's still with me." "Barely," Kai responded, opening his eyes. They held a new depth now, as if he'd seen too much in too little time. "But Commander, the things I'm seeing. The technologies we never even dreamed possible." Marcus looked up from his station, his face pale but determined. "It's not just technology. They're showing us history, the rise and fall of countless civilizations. The pattern keeps repeating. The Void Hunters find them, consume them, move on." Sarah nodded, sorting through the cascade of information in her mind. The alien knowledge was organizing itself now, becoming clearer. The beings who built the Nexus, they called themselves the Architects, had once ruled vast portions of the galaxy. But even they had fallen before the Void Hunters, surviving only by retreating into their automated outposts, waiting for species with the potential to carry on their legacy. "Commander," First Officer Diana Patel's voice cut through Sarah's thoughts. "Earth is requesting an update. They're detecting massive energy signatures from our location. They want to know what we found." Sarah stood, steadying herself against her chair. How could she possibly explain this? "Put them through to my ready room. They need to hear this directly." In her private office, Sarah faced the holographic projection of Admiral James Torres, the head of Earth's Deep Space Command. His weathered face showed concern as she began her report. "Admiral, what we've discovered changes everything. We are not alone in the universe, and we are not safe." She explained everything: the Nexus, the Architects, the knowledge transfer, and the coming threat. As she spoke, she could see the Admiral's expression shift from skepticism to shock to grim understanding. "You're telling me," he said slowly, "that an ancient alien civilization has chosen us to be their successors, to fight against these Void Hunters?" "Yes, sir, and we don't have much time. The knowledge they've given us includes specifications for weapons, shields, and drives beyond anything we've conceived. But we'll need to adapt them quickly. The hunters are already stirring. The Admiral was silent for a long moment. The political fallout from this will be significant. Not everyone will believe you, Commander. Not everyone will want to believe you. With respect, sir, they don't have a choice. The hunters are coming whether we believe in them or not, and humanity needs to be ready. Agreed. I'm ordering the Stellar Pioneer back to Earth immediately. We'll need your entire crew's knowledge to begin preparations. Sarah shook her head. We can't leave yet, sir. The Nexus has more to show us. And she hesitated, then forged ahead. The architects left something else here. Something they say we'll need. Before the Admiral could respond, the ship's emergency alarms blared again. Sarah rushed back to the bridge, where a new hologram filled the center of the room. It showed a massive object, previously hidden within the Nexus structure, now emerging into space. By all that's holy, Marcus whispered. It's a ship. The vessel was unlike anything they'd ever seen. Its hull seemed to bend light around it, its shape difficult for human eyes to process. It was massive, easily dwarfing the Stellar Pioneer. The architect's voice echoed through their minds once more. This is the Harbinger, our greatest warship. We could not use it effectively against the hunters. Our time had passed. But your species still has the potential to grow, to adapt, to become something new. The ship is yours, if you can master it. Sarah stared at the magnificent vessel, understanding flooding through her. The architects hadn't just chosen humanity as their successors, they'd chosen them as their redemption. A young species, unbound by the rigid thinking that had doomed their predecessors, might find new ways to use old weapons. How long? She asked the architect. How long until the hunters reach our space? Months, perhaps. They sense the activation of the Nexus. They will come to investigate, and when they find you, they will seek to devour everything you are. Sarah straightened her uniform, her decision made. Admiral, she said, turning back to the still active comlink, request permission to remain at the Nexus with a volunteer crew. We need to learn everything we can about the Harbinger. The rest of the crew can return to Earth with the initial data, begin the preparations. The Admiral nodded grimly. Granted. But Commander, be careful out there. We're in uncharted territory now. Sir, with respect, we've always been in uncharted territory. That's what humans do best. We explore, we adapt, we survive. The architects chose us for a reason. As the Admiral's hologram faded, Sarah looked around at her bridge crew. In their eyes, she saw the same determination she felt. The knowledge the architects had given them was overwhelming, but they would master it. They had to. The Harbinger floated before them, a testament to what was possible when a civilization reached its peak. Now it was humanity's turn to climb those heights, and quickly. The Void Hunters were coming, and this time, someone would be ready for them. The awakening. Time was a luxury they didn't have. 3 weeks had passed since the discovery of the Nexus, and Commander Sarah Chen hadn't slept more than 4 hours a night since then. She stood in the control center of the Harbinger, surrounded by holographic displays showing systems she was only beginning to understand. The neural interface is adapting, Dr. Marcus Wong reported, monitoring the ship's response to their presence. It's learning from us as much as we're learning from it. The Harbinger was unlike any vessel humans had encountered. It wasn't just a ship, it was almost alive, its systems responding to thoughts and intentions as much as physical commands. The architects had built it to be an extension of its crew, and mastering it meant becoming something more than human. Energy output is holding steady at 30% capacity. Lieutenant Kai Jackson called from his station. That's twice what we managed yesterday. Sarah nodded, but she knew it wasn't enough. At full power, the Harbinger could generate enough energy to power Earth's entire civilization for a year. They needed to master it completely before the hunters arrived. Commander, Diana Patel's voice came through the comm. Priority message from Earth. You're going to want to see this. The holographic display shifted, showing news footage from around the world. Protests had erupted in major cities as word of the alien threat leaked to the public. Some demanded immediate military action. Others claimed it was all a hoax. Politicians argued over resources and jurisdiction, while precious time slipped away. "They're afraid," Marcus said quietly. "Can't blame them. Everything they thought they knew about the universe just changed." "Fear can be useful," Sarah replied, remembering the architect's teachings. "Fear can drive innovation, force adaptation, but only if we channel it properly." A new alert flashed across the displays. The Nexus had detected something at the edge of their sensor range, a distortion in spacetime that matched the architect's records of hunter activity. "They're testing our defenses," Sarah realized, sending probe signals ahead of their main force. "Kai, begin active scanning. I want to know everything about that distortion." As her crew worked, Sarah closed her eyes, connecting more deeply with the Harbinger systems. The ship's consciousness brushed against her mind, sharing its vast knowledge. The architects had built it not just as a weapon, but as a teacher. Every system, every technology was designed to help its new users evolve rapidly. "Commander," Marcus called out urgently, "I'm detecting quantum fluctuations throughout the ship. The neural interface, it's expanding." Sarah felt it happening. The connection between crew and ship was growing stronger, more intimate. Through the neural link, she could sense her crew's thoughts, their fears, their determination. The Harbinger was forging them into something new, a hybrid of human intuition and machine precision. "This is what the architects intended," she said, her voice distant as understanding flooded through her. "They knew we couldn't master their technology in time, not the traditional way. So they're helping us evolve to match it." Through the neural link, she shared her revelation with the crew. The Harbinger wasn't just a warship, it was a crucible designed to accelerate human development. The architects had seen humanity's potential, but they'd also seen their limitations. This was their solution. "Earth Command is demanding an update on our progress," Diana reported. "They're detecting the quantum fluctuations. They're worried we're losing our humanity." Sarah opened her eyes, a slight smile playing across her lips. "Tell them we're not losing our humanity. We're expanding it. The architects chose us because we adapt, because we're willing to change. This is just the next step in our evolution." As if in response to her words, the Harbinger's systems surged with new energy. Displays that had been incomprehensible began to make sense. Technologies that had seemed like magic now felt natural, intuitive. "Power output at 60%, Kai reported, his voice filled with wonder. "No, 70%. 80. It's still climbing." Through the neural link, Sarah could feel her crew's excitement, their growing confidence. The fear was still there, but it was being transformed into determination. They were becoming something new, something that might actually stand a chance against the hunters. "Begin battle drills," she ordered. "I want us ready for anything." The hunters sent that probe signal for a reason. They're coming to test us properly. Let's make sure we give them a proper welcome. The Harbinger's engines hummed with power as the crew took their stations. In her mind, Sarah could feel the ship's approval. They were nearly ready. The real test would come soon enough. Far at the edge of sensor range, the spatial distortion grew stronger. The hunters were watching, evaluating, preparing. They had destroyed countless civilizations before, but they had never encountered anything quite like this. A young species wielding the power of an ancient one, guided by both human instinct and machine logic. The awakening was nearly complete. The only question was, would it be enough? Trial by fire. The void rippled like disturbed water. Through the Harbinger's enhanced sensors, Commander Sarah Chen watched as reality itself seemed to tear open. The void hunters had finally arrived. "Multiple contacts," Kai reported, his voice steady despite the tension flooding through the neural link. 3 capital ships, dozens of smaller craft. Their energy signatures matched the architect's records. The hunter vessels were biological nightmares, twisted masses of dark matter and crystalline structures that seemed to devour light itself. They moved with an organic fluidity that made them hard to track, their shapes constantly shifting and reforming. "They're trying to intimidate us," Sarah broadcast through the neural link. "Show us how alien they are, how beyond our comprehension. Don't let it work." The Harbinger's systems hummed with power, now fully integrated with its human crew. Through their shared consciousness, Sarah could feel every weapon, every shield generator, every quantum circuit ready to respond to their collective will. The lead hunter vessel transmitted a signal, not words or images, but pure concepts that hammered at their minds. Surrender, submit, be consumed. Sarah's response was immediate and defiant. Through the Harbinger's communications array, she broadcast back a single human word: no. The battle began without further warning. The hunter vessels launched a barrage of dark energy weapons, beams of anti-light that would have torn any normal ship apart. But the Harbinger was far from normal, and its crew was no longer entirely human. Quantum shields holding, Marcus reported as Sarah guided their massive vessel through the attack pattern. The Architect's defense systems are actually learning from each hit, adapting in real time. Through the neural link, Sarah coordinated their counterattack. The Harbinger's main weapons were powered by contained singularities, capable of warping space-time itself. As the crew thought and acted as one, they unleashed a devastating barrage. The lead hunter vessel twisted away, but not fast enough. The quantum torpedoes struck its hull, creating localized time distortions that ripped chunks of its biomechanical structure away into parallel dimensions. "Direct hit," Kai called out. "Their shields are." "Wait, something's wrong." The damaged hunter vessel wasn't retreating. Instead, its wounds seemed to be healing, dark matter flowing like liquid to seal the gaps. More than that, its structure was changing, adapting to counter the Harbinger's weapons. "They evolve," the Architect's memories whispered in Sarah's mind. "That's why they've survived so long. Every attack teaches them, makes them stronger." But evolution wasn't just the hunter's advantage. Through the neural link, Sarah felt an idea forming, not her own, but a collective thought from the entire crew. If conventional weapons wouldn't work, they would need to think differently. Think human. "Kai, dump all power to the quantum drive," she ordered. "Marcus, reconfigure the shield harmonics to match the hunter's dark energy frequency. Diana, prepare to broadcast on all channels." Her crew responded instantly, understanding her plan through their shared consciousness. The hunters had faced countless advanced civilizations before, but they'd never encountered human ingenuity combined with architect technology. The Harbinger's quantum drive spun up to impossible speeds, its energy signature matching the hunter's own dimensional distortions. As the enemy vessels moved in for the kill, Sarah gave the order. "Now." The Harbinger's shields inverted, creating a quantum resonance field that synchronized with the hunter's own energy patterns. At the same time, the quantum drive detonated in a controlled overload, creating a cascade of dimensional rifts. The effect was devastating. The hunter vessels, their own dark energy weapons amplified and reflected back by the resonance field, found themselves torn apart by the very forces they wielded. Their adaptive abilities worked against them, their evolution trapped in a feedback loop of their own destruction. "Two enemy capital ships breaking apart," Kai reported, excitement bleeding through the neural link. "The third is retreating." Sarah watched through the Harbinger sensors as the surviving hunter vessel fled, its structure destabilized by the quantum cascade. They had won their first battle, but she knew it was only the beginning. "Damage report," she called out, already feeling the answer through her connection to the ship. "The quantum drive will need time to rebuild itself," Marcus replied. "But the Harbinger's repair systems are already at work. We should be back to full capacity in hours." Through the neural link, Sarah felt her crew's mixture of exhaustion and triumph. They had faced humanity's greatest threat and survived, not through overwhelming force, but through adaptation and innovation. The very qualities that had drawn the architects to Earth in the first place. "Send word to Earth," she ordered Diana. "Tell them we've confirmed the Hunter threat, but we've also confirmed something else. They can be beaten." The Harbinger's systems pulsed with renewed energy as its repair sequences continued. In her mind, Sarah could feel the ship's own satisfaction. The architects had built it to be the ultimate weapon, but they had known it would take human creativity to use it properly. The surviving Hunter vessel vanished into the void, but Sarah knew it wouldn't be gone long. It would return with reinforcements, with new adaptations, with greater numbers. But when it did, humanity would be ready. They had passed their trial by fire. Now the real war could begin. Legacy of the Stars. 3 months after humanity's first victory over the Void Hunters, the Stellar Pioneer's observation deck offered a view that would have been impossible before. Commander Sarah Chen stood watching as a fleet of hybrid vessels, human-built ships incorporating architect technology, moved through their training maneuvers. Each ship carried a neural interface derived from the Harbinger systems, allowing their crews to operate as unified minds while maintaining their human creativity and intuition. "The Hunter vessel we damaged has been spotted in 3 different sectors," Diana reported, joining Sarah at the viewport. "It's gathering allies." "Good," Sarah replied, surprising her first officer. "Let them come. Every day we grow stronger, more prepared." Through the neural link she still shared with the Harbinger, Sarah could feel the truth of her words. Humanity had not simply copied the architect's technology. They had improved upon it. Where the ancient civilization had built their systems on pure logic and predictability, humans added imagination and instinct. Latest report from Earth, Marcus called out as he entered the deck, his tablet displaying streams of data. "The global defense network is online. Quantum shields covering every major population center, and the first wave of civilian neural interfaces is being distributed." Sarah nodded, remembering the chaos that had followed their first battle. The world had teetered on the edge of panic when the truth about the Hunters became public. But faced with an existential threat, humanity had done what it did best, adapted and united. "And the other species?" she asked, though she already knew the answer through the Harbinger's long-range sensors. "Responding to our broadcasts," Marcus confirmed. "The Centauri Coalition has already pledged support. The Rigel Confederation is skeptical but interested. Even the Vega Collective, as isolationist as they are, have requested more information about the Hunter threat." Sarah smiled slightly. The architects had chosen humanity not just for their potential as warriors, but for their potential as leaders. Other species had advanced technology, but they lacked humanity's drive to explore, to innovate, to challenge the impossible. An alert pulsed through the neural network. The Harbinger had detected something. Sarah closed her eyes, connecting more deeply with the ship's systems. Through its sensors, she saw them. Hunter vessels, dozens of them, gathering at the edge of known space. "They're preparing for a major assault." Kai's voice came through the comm. "More ships than we've ever seen." "They think numbers will overwhelm us," Sarah said, opening her eyes. "They still don't understand what they're facing." Through the neural link, she broadcast a call to action. Every hybrid ship in the fleet responded instantly, their crews ready and willing. The Harbinger's engines hummed to life, its systems fully restored and enhanced by human modifications. "We've identified 3 distinct Hunter evolution patterns from the first battle," Marcus reported as they moved to their stations. "Their adaptations are predictable if you know what to look for. They evolve through pure logic. They can't comprehend creative leaps." That was the key to everything. The Hunters had dominated the galaxy through overwhelming force and rapid adaptation, but they had never faced an enemy that could think laterally, that could imagine solutions that defied pure logic. "Commander," Diana called out. "Transmission from Earth Command. They're asking for your assessment of our chances." Sarah looked out at the fleet of hybrid ships, each one a perfect fusion of human spirit and architect technology. Through the neural link, she could feel the determination of every crew member, their minds linked but still uniquely human. Tell them. She paused, choosing her words carefully. Tell them that the architects chose humanity because we never calculate our chances. We just decide to succeed and figure out how along the way. The hunter fleet was growing larger, their dark shapes blotting out the stars. They would attack soon, with everything they had. They would expect to face the same architect technology that had failed to stop them before. Instead, they would face something unprecedented. A species that had taken that ancient technology and reimagined it, improved it, made it into something new. Humanity had not simply inherited the architect's legacy. They had transformed it. All ships, battle positions, Sarah commanded, feeling the Harbinger's systems surge with power. Remember your training, trust your instincts, and most importantly, think human. The hybrid fleet moved into formation around the Harbinger, their quantum shields synchronizing into patterns that would have made the architects proud. But it was the human minds behind those shields that would make the difference. As the hunter fleet began its advance, Sarah felt a deep sense of certainty. The architects had not chosen humanity to be their successors or their redemption. They had chosen humanity to be something entirely new, a species that could bridge the gap between organic creativity and technological perfection. The future of the galaxy would not be decided by who had the most powerful weapons or the most advanced technology. It would be decided by those who could imagine new possibilities, who could see beyond the logical and predictable. The Void Hunters were about to learn what the architects had already discovered. Humanity's greatest strength was not in their ability to adapt to the universe, but in their determination to make the universe adapt to them. All ships, Sarah commanded, her voice carrying through the neural network to every crew member in the fleet. Let's show them what humanity can do. The battle that followed would be remembered for centuries as the moment when humanity proved they were not just another species inheriting ancient power, but a force that would reshape the very nature of civilization among the stars. The legacy of the architects had found its true purpose, not in preservation, but in transformation. And humanity was just getting started.